The World GT Championship continues here on Apex Racing TV as we bring you round 13 from the Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. Andrew Woodhouse here alongside Adam Bath and our Racing World Championship driver, Kia extraordinaire, Alex Simpson, and Alex, mate, top Apex driver. We're here at Belgium, we're here at Spa. It's a great circuit, it's a classic one for the GT cars, and I'm sure these guys are going to give us some great stuff out there on the circuit.
Yeah, hello everyone. Endurance race today, of course, here at Spa, so no Will is going to be needed. So yeah, we'll just see how the guys get on, really. Should be, I mean, it's perfect circuit, isn't it, for a bit of endurance racing, so yeah, it's going to be good. Weather conditions looking pretty tasty out there, 23 degrees ambient temp, clear skies. Wind, there's a little bit of wind, but it's not going to affect the GT cars too much. They're a bit like tanks, really, when it comes to wind. And yeah, so I would say we're in for a pretty good race. Obviously, we're going to have some pit stop strategies that we're going to have to try and work out as we go, but that should make it a bit interesting. Fraser Williams looking really good in qualifying at the minute. Yeah,
qualifying went great for him, Adam Williamson, and nearly half a second difference over Nicole Foggy, and that's no mean feat indeed.
Yeah, Nicole Foggy seems to be quicker whatever he gets in with anything, really. Same with Josh Thompson. Yeah, I think qualifying doesn't mean much here because the race is so long, and of course we've got the endurance pit lane still with as well. So plenty of things can happen in the next 90 minutes, and we'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Seems like a smaller field this week.
45. Yeah.
It's just because we had 62 or whatever it was on Thursday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Qualifying is just about to finish. Is there anybody still on a lap out there at the moment?
John Roberts,
James
possibly.
King?
John Roberts, did he manage to get round in time? Did he?
Let's see.
It's endurance pits, though, isn't it? So there's no way he'll have got out in time.
No chance.
I know James King could be on one. The Husqvarna Audi just coming through.
Yeah, James probably on one. He's coming up towards the end of the lap, isn't he?
And the TBR car then going towards Blanchimont. Nice and easy through there.
Oh no, he wasn't.
Well.
No, and that's the end. That's the end of that. So King doesn't improve from 18th place. Adam, if you could take us through the starting grid for round 13.
Okay, here we go then. Fraser Williamson starts on the pole. Nicole Foggy second. Josh Thompson third, and LJ Garnett starting in fourth. Marco Mogren in fifth. In sixth place, it's David Baker, car 6. Wouldn't have it any other way. Christian Rose in seventh. Miguel Fraser's in eighth. Ninth for Johnny Brandon and David White in 10th. Stu McFadden starting in 11th. Dion Phillips 12th. Charles Jacot starting in 13th. Andy Shield, car 007, who caused a massive start line pile up. I'm sure he still hasn't gotten over it. At Barber last week, he's starting in 14th. 15th for Pete Newman, 16th for Chris Wood. Then it's Nate Simpson in 17th. James King, who we were seeing there on what looked like a qualifying lap, going to be starting in 18th. Maybe just the last few bit of practice there for him. 19th for Michael Blake. Then 20th for Ben Gregory. 11th Pete Howard. 21st Pete Howard. 22nd Mark Johnston. 23rd Lee Woodburn. 24th Tom Jacobs. 25th John Roberts. 26th with his stream going as always, it's Paul Smith. Then Matt Keeber in 27th. 28th Maciek Sakovic. 29th Ronald Moons. 30th Mark Woodhouse. 31st Andrew Whitehead. 32nd on the grid is going to be Scott Malcolm. Then Stephen Burke and Stuart Atkinson in 34th. So the power of the S is there. Then it's car 888 in 35th, Jason Rowe. Josh Rayfield, 36th, 37th, Chris White. And Carl Janssen, first of the cars not to set a time. Then Michael Davis, Jake Blackhall. Jeroen Kaiser starting towards the rear of the field in 41st place. 42nd is Michael Hall. Nick Sherman's in David Crozier in 43rd. 44th, Stephen Dawson. Starting at the back in 45th place is going to be Nick Sherman. So the order is the field is now starting to grid up on the entry into Blanchimont.
Yeah, short pace lap here, of course, as normal. Carl Janssen leads the championship by 48 points over Christian Rose, 103 points back to David Baker, 187 to Marco Mogren, and 212 points to the 5th place man, Chris Wood. So a lot of catching up to do, Alex. And Spa, well, it's one of those places with an hour and a half race that it can throw up a lot of surprises. We've seen it in the past, and none of the drivers can take a good result.
Yeah, no, I think it's key to get a good start here, isn't it? You know, the first couple of laps, get them under your belt and out of the way. Don't get involved in anything too major, especially up Kemmel. It is possible to have a big one there. So, but yeah, get settled into a rhythm and then just sort of let the race come to you. You can make up quite a good amount of places here at Spa as well. Lots of great overtaking opportunities. So this should be, this should be a good one.
So Williamson, the Scotsman, leading us through the bus stop chicane. Pace car is in. Any minute now, Williamson's going to go and get us underway.
We've got to go through the source first, haven't we, before we get the green?
But he can still go. He can go whenever he wants, but he's waiting wisely, I think, here. Look, he's almost been pushed by Josh Thompson. Thompson can't wait to get underway.
Scottish driver in pole, Scottish team in second.
Let's see then. When's Williamson going to put the hammer down? He does it now. We're away 1.5 hours of Spa-Francorchamps. Here at Apex Racing TV, Williamson from Foggy. Then it's Thompson, and it's... Well, Mogren's already gone through on Garnet. So down to 5th for him. And then it's Baker in 6th. The car 6. Now,
looks like everybody's got through Eau Rouge safely.
Williamson's got a real battle on his hands, Adam, now. As Foggy's going to the outside, he's side by side with him. Trying to go around the outside in Lecombe. He's done it. Can he keep it, Foggy, though? Foggy versus Williamson, 2 Scottish drivers here. Foggy's into the lead. It's fantastic from Foggy, Adam.
Great move. The Merc onslaught is on then. Fraser Williamson almost all of a sudden looking the odd one out here as he's surrounded by a huge amount of Mercs.
Here comes Thompson. Thompson's through. Gets a bit of the AstroTurf on the exit. Here comes Garnet has managed to get back past Mogren. Garnet's trying to go up the inside of Williamson into Pouon. And he's got the inside line, and Williamson's getting beaten up here in the early stages, Alex.
Yeah, massively. Just offline, isn't he? And he just can't seem to get himself into a position where he can defend. He was constantly trying to hold on to positions, and it just let the driver behind get a much better run. And from 1st to 3rd, 4th, sorry. So it's got a lot of work to do, but of course we've got time. This is what I said. As long as you're not involved in something on the first lap, then you got a chance to fight back. And I think actually we've had a relatively clean start. A couple of drivers showing us not moving out there. So Stuart Atkinson and Stephen Dawson, I don't know if they have had some sort of problem or something like that, but the rest of the field is sort of flowing through and
Mogren! Mogren spun at Blanchimont. He's managed to... Oh, he didn't keep it out of the wall. Just a little tap on the concrete wall.
Gonna have to wait for everybody to go through.
Yeah, he's got to try and turn it round. He is doing. Oh, it's an awful position to be in.
Gonna be in last, isn't he?
He might be.
Stuart Atkinson towed back to the pit, so something's happened to him on this open.
Yeah, we were just hearing on the chat that there was a 5-car crash a bit further back. So, yeah, relatively clean start.
Yeah.
Have a look and see what happened.
What a move by Foggy, Alex, into the Coombe, though.
It was fantastic overtake. Deserved the lead with there as well. So yeah, Fraser tried to hold on, didn't he? The best he could, and that's what actually it was the holding on which cost him to end up in 4th place. Had he conceded the position and just slotted back in, would have been no problem.
You don't expect to concede the position though when you're on the inside there. You think you've got the advantage, but it was such a good move that he had no choice really.
Well, at least we've got a bit of a reverse really from the gridding positions there. So see him try and make his way past these 4 cars. So, but yeah, the Merc's looking strong.
Looks like Williamson has now regrouped a bit, and it's now that it's him that's putting the pressure on LJ Garnet here going into Pouon. This front 4 already getting a 1.5 second advantage over Baker, who's best of the rest at the moment, but Williamson almost bump drafting the Merc of Garnet through Pouon there.
Yeah, we expect Ferrari to be strong through the first sector especially, but the second half of the lap that they don't seem to quite have the downforce that the Mercedes and the Audi do. But hanging on well, the 2 Racehub cars, CQR team, Baker and Rose. Miguel Freitas, their car 999, hopefully won't be needing the ambulance service or the fire brigade. 7th place for him.
Interestingly, our championship leader is out.
Janssen
is out.
What happened to him? He must have just crashed on this lap or something.
was in 33rd at the end of the opening lap, and he's exited the session as well. So
He did complete the first lap. He had gained some places.
oh, it's a big one. It's in Pouon. Oh, sorry, in Eau Rouge.
Oh,
No,
just
you
think-
don't have a small one going through there, do you?
He was offline. Unfortunately, he disappears off my screen, and then the next time I see him, the car's wrecked. So
Oh, absolutely ridiculous place to crash those Eau Rouges, isn't it? I mean,
Looks like he
guaranteed
went up-
to end up badly.
looks like he went up the inside of somebody, or was defending the inside going into Eau Rouge, and then gets the line wrong. I think. Don't know if Alex can get a replay or not.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it now. So yeah,
Atkinson rejoining.
do you know what? I think he had some sort of internet issue or something
so it
like
wasn't-
that.
Yeah.
Because then all of a sudden, like you say, he just comes back and he's just into the wall. So I'm guessing obviously the car behind hit him, and I don't think that's going to be any fault to the driver who was behind him.
Like a
because-
screen freeze or something, maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like some sort of freeze or something like that. And then of course the field's just compiling through him and it's just spat him off. You know what it's like when it suddenly comes back at you and like that. So because he sort of he appeared where he was, but yeah, I dare say he got the contact from the cars behind because he had no control and just went straight into the wall. So that's him out.
Nickel Foggy's having all sorts of issues with his connection, and that is causing problems for Josh Thompson because he doesn't actually know really what to do in terms of trying to overtake the Northern Lights Racing Mercedes.
There's a few people blinking out there actually, Andrew, and I have to say, having been in the BSRTC on Thursday, that our whole team was struggling with server issues where
It just seems to be
like
worse
this, yeah, like you said it the other day, like the sync bar issues are just crazy now. Like you know, we obviously have been broadcasting for years, got absolute state-of-the-art equipment and bandwidth here.
Well, you have.
You know, and you just don't experience problems, and now all of a sudden in this build we're getting them, and I think a lot of people are as well. Ever since the Sebring race, you know, there's been real issues. So something's going on, and I think as a community, it might be worth us sort of saying to our racing, look, you know, our league races are being somewhat affected at this point. You know, people are getting kicked after about 20 minutes, half hour into a race, you know.
Scott Malcolm already have received throughput, I believe, since the beginning of this race, or at least at the end of qualifying. So probably explains why he's 1 minute and 20 seconds behind. Is probably he might have had to start from the pits.
Yeah, I mean, we were disconnecting before the races and trying to reconnect just in time. Yeah, just in time. It was ridiculous.
Battle going on between James King and Chaz Draco. King's managed to get ahead of the Ferrari. That's TBR ahead of Thrust Vector. And behind them is the Team Mad Audi of Chris Wood. Expected Chris Wood to be higher up, Adam, really?
he's had patches where he's been really good. At Barber last week, he was looking good there. So see if he can work his way up through the field today.
Oh, mistake by King. And Dracop right up on his tail. Can he make a move? Wood trying to... Oh, Wood's been taken by... really good move by Nathaniel Simpson, managing to be opportunistic and get through. Car 4 there, the Simmortal Mercedes.
Oh, who's that around?
Harness a spinner, and it's
Freitas.
Malcolm. Oh, Freitas, sorry. Same livery as Malcolm, but different car.
Car 999, he was running high up inside the top 10, had a good qualifying as well, and now he's around.
That's not what he wants. Top 10 he did start in.
Fraser's got back past LJ, so now he sets the sight on Thompson. 0.3 of a second back, and then, like you say, Thompson really trying to... He wants to get by Foggy, but not entirely sure where he's gone, but although it does seem to have settled down a little bit now.
Yeah, a little bit. We'll keep it posted. It seemed worse in the middle sector. So we'll see what... Oh, and there it is again. So keep an eye on it now for Foggy.
It's a bit too soon.
Yeah, look at that. It's not helping him. It's not helping us. It's not helping Josh Thompson or Fraser Williamson. So they don't exactly know what to do with him. Might just get him to a win if everyone's too scared to overtake him.
Is it equivalent to 30? Yeah.
Yeah.
can't get by. He can't get by you if you don't know where you. If he doesn't know where you are. Nico.
That's it. Which is kind of like what happened in the Grand Prix yesterday. You can't beat somebody when you don't know where they are. Stuart McFadden's in 7th place, going along nicely in the Ferrari, just 4 positions gained in fact, just ahead of Johnny Brandon. These two in the little 2-car.
LJ's come back at Fraser. I think that might have been a slowdown penalty for Fraser over the top of the of Pouon there. You know how you can pick him up, because he seemed to let off and move to the side and just lost himself a good sort of 1 second there.
To Rivage then. Sorry.
He's now back on the rear of them, Merck, isn't he, Williamson?
It looked like LJ was struggling to stay with them, but I think it was a symptom of the battling more than anything else, really.
Good battle going on further back as well. Sorry, guys. Jake Blackhall with Stephen, Burke, and Whitehead involved. Burke around. Issues for him.
Well, Stephen Burke was running into 25th at the start of the lap. It looks like he hasn't hit anything at Eau Rouge.
That's Lacombe, isn't it?
So yeah, sorry, getting all the names. Yeah, he just lost it on the exit. Maybe got on that curb a little bit.
It looks like he's suffering a little bit. I've just seen him try to turn into Rivage, and he didn't look like he had to have about 3 attempts to turn it in. So
Nate Simpson around as well.
Yeah, Simpson around. Yeah, Pouon, car 4. Did he get hit or did he lose it on his own? He lost it on his own. Yes, he did.
And he's done a good job to turn that around without backing into the racing surface. He's done a good job there to come back on. You can see just ahead of him is Mark Johnston putting pressure on Jason Rowe. It's another couple of Mercedes-Benz going at it. Team Mad for Jason Rowe.
Paul Smith and Andy Shield also having a decent scrap. BMW versus Mercedes. So Paul really trying to push the BMW above its weight. Oh, he has to avoid a spinning car. That's Michael Blake. Goodness me, he was right in the middle of the racetrack.
Michael Blake was in 16th place.
How did he lose this?
Oh, he's been hit. He's been hit by a Team Mad car. That's Kaiser.
I have to say,
is it Kaiser or is it Kiba? Kaiser.
I have to say, if we can get a rejoin. If we can get a replay of the beginning of the spin.
Oh, somebody else has spun at the exit of the bus stop chicane as well. Oh, and it's a big crash. It's a pile up on the straight at the start finish line, and it was Ben Gregory, I think.
See what happens.
Yeah, it was Gregory spinning, I think, coming out of the chicane, Adam.
With a BMW. How did he spin this?
I don't think there. I think there was some contact there. It wasn't.
It was contact with.
There's a quarter panel. There's
car
another
25. Matthew Kiba, yeah.
I don't know if you saw the beginning of.
I'm not quite sure what Ben was doing there, though, coming back onto the circuit.
There's some amateur mistakes out here for people who've been doing racing as long as these people have.
That was pretty uncharacteristic from Ben as well, but pretty shocking, actually. You should take a long, hard look at that.
If you see the beginning of the Michael Blake spin at Blanchimont, he does an absolutely insane job of not hitting the tyre barrier.
Yeah. And then he comes back on dodgily and gets hit by someone else.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. So it's one moment of genius, one moment of bad judgment. But never mind. We're at the front. We've got 4 cars. They're out now, so it doesn't matter. There's four cars at the front who are battling hard. Foggy, Thompson, Garnett, and Williamson. It's been back and forth between these guys for pretty much most of the race. One thing that's interesting is, Alex, I don't know if you noticed, the 2 Ferraris look like they're kind of closing in a little bit.
Yeah, let's have a look at lap times. 17.2. Yes and no. Some of them, but not. But some of them pulled away. So
they certainly look closer.
But you're right. They are there, aren't they? They're there and thereabouts, and broke away from the McFadden and Brandon sort of battle that's going on. So
they're in that Red Bull position, aren't they, of 2017, where they're in sort of no man's land between the front and the midfield.
If these 4 start to battle, they'll be on them in a lap. That's the thing. So
there's an hour and a half. You know, so there's an hour and a quarter. Well. There's at least an hour and a quarter to go. So yeah, it's not over yet. Blake rejoins the circuit as he has come into the pits, taking his
Got a new
fast
car.
repair, it looks like.
Yep.
Yep.
Good battle here between a Merc and a Ferrari. This is Chaz Draycott versus David White, and they have been changing positions the last few laps, but Ferrari has got a very decent run on the CQR Club car now. He's looking up the inside going into Lake Con.
Yeah, see if he can do it then. That's the top end speed of the Ferrari. You can see how it's pulling nicely at the end of the Kemmel Straight. David White defends well.
Who's that behind? That's Chris Wood as well. We were talking about him a few moments ago.
Draycott, he got a fantastic run through Malmedy. Trying through Rivage now. White's gone a bit wide. Oh, Blake's getting out of the way. He's getting out of the way, I think.
I think he'll be picking up the Vadim Kogai award at the end of this evening at the moment.
Oh dear. Here comes Chris Wood right on the back of Draycott. I'll tell you what, Alex, over the couple of seasons that we've done this, David White's a very underrated driver because he always seems to be there or thereabouts. He hardly ever gets mentioned, but he'll always seem to finish the race and he'll always seem to get it home in one piece.
Yeah, that's it. Doing a great job out there now. I mean, 12th in this field is no small feat, is it? So,
no.
And yeah, Chaz is a good driver, so holding him off. And we talked about how good Wood is as well behind. We expect to see him higher up.
Chaz has been loving the Ferrari. He's been doing official IMSA series races. He took the team's first win in one of the IMSA starts he had this week. He's right on David White now. Could be a move into the bus stop, Adam.
Be a good one if it works out. Not close enough this time. Saw a post on the BBC Sport website where they showed Max Verstappen, gone as bad as Martin Brundle. Max Verstappen's move around the outside was done in practice on iRacing before he did it at the Belgian Grand Prix a few years ago.
Yeah, it's one that can be done if you're brave enough.
Don't know if we'll be seeing it in these GT cars just because you've got to slow down quite a bit.
White's gone wide. Here's a chance for Draycott, but I think he's going to... The thing is, Alex, that the Ferrari suffers on the traction compared to the Mercedes, but then it does get there at the end of the straight.
Yeah, and
I'm going to see him pulling a bit like he's got DRS almost at the end of this Kemmel Straight.
He's in a good position to get the extra slipstream as well, isn't he? You don't want to be right underneath their wings, so you have to pull out early. He should have a bit of extra momentum, but don't think he's going to poke his nose out this time. Oh,
it's always risky into Lecum unless you're alongside, because it's not really a heavy braking area, is it? It's kind of a medium braking area. You go down 2 or 3 gears, you go down to about 3rd gear in these GT3 cars, and there's not a lot of margin for error. We saw in 2014 the 2 Mercedes in Formula 1 that those two hitting each other through there, how it can go a bit wrong. And those guys avoiding that. It's very close at the front now, just 0.8 of a second between the front 4, and LJ Garnett has gone up into 2nd place. Supposed to take Josh Thompson, so he's now going to be attacking Foggy.
Yeah, we know LJ well, doesn't he? Very good driver in just about everything he drives. So
yeah, he's quick.
Yeah, probably the most unluckiest Pro Series I think I've ever seen a few years back.
Oh,
very, very unlucky driver in general, I think.
Garnett nearly getting by Foggy there, going through Blanchard.
He's going to have a go now, is he? Oh. But again, because it's Josh Thompson, you know that he's going to be trying to make a move no matter what, and that's what Garnett's got to look out for, if anything. But now he's got a great run. He might even be able to have a go into La Source. I would take this advantage as well, because if you can get through into La Source, then you at least force the other driver to follow you through Eau Rouge, which isn't always the easiest thing.
If this was a 20-minute race, I'm sure he would have gone for it, but still got just over 70 minutes to go here. So,
well, what's his Eau Rouge going to be like? The answer is it's not bad. He's not close enough though. This time he will get right up to the back of car 66. Not able to do anything about him this time. David Baker, former British Sim Racers Touring Car Champion, in 5th place. He's only 1 second now behind this group, Adam, and well, if we know anything about Baker, he finds a way to get it done.
Yeah, stunning lap last time around, 2:17.3, only 2 tenths off his personal best for the race, so he's been able to gain quite a bit on Fraser Williamson, who did a 2:18.1 on that last lap, so 8 tenths of a second quicker, the BSRTC champion, and the Ferrari, which you can never discount, is starting to get there.
Alex, with your experience here, when are we expecting the drivers into the pits?
Yeah, I'm not sure if we have any restrictions on the fuel. But an hour, but an hour and a half race. I'm guessing they will. Most people would have full fueled, so we're looking at about an hour and then a half an hour stint after that. But I wouldn't be surprised to see people in around about the 45-minute mark, because they can obviously just put the same amount of fuel in, set of tyres, maybe get some undercut, get a bit of track position.
Definitely be taking tyres here then.
What's the track temp?
It is 27.
Maybe not. Yeah, we might see them double stint it, so just a splash of fuel then. And then again, and that really opens it up. But I think what we will see, if those that aren't going to take tyres, they're definitely going to run it out as long as they possibly can to keep the lap time up.
No fuel limit in this series, or for this endurance race anyway, so the fuel is completely realistic here. And of course, in the World GT Championship, you can't fuel and change tyres at the same time. So you can avoid getting the tyres changed, then you're already going to be way ahead of somebody that decides to take.
Yeah, I think you're right. Definitely. Just a little bit of background if you're new to iRacing, if you're newish to motorsport in general. Well, thanks for being with us on Monday evening here, World GT Championship on Apex Racing TV. We're at Spa-Francorchamps, and a circuit that has been, it's nearly 100 years old. 1921 is when it hosted, 1922 is when it hosted its first ever race. And 24 Hours of Spa, it's been going since 1924. So it used to be a lot longer than this, of course. It used to be nearly 15 kilometres long, Adam.
Yeah, there's some pretty amazing corners. You can try on some other racing games, the Master Kink being probably one of the most famous. And then in comparison to this circuit, it rejoins the current circuit just on the exit of Stavolo. That is where we rejoin it. So you could almost say this is a good little infield of the big circuit.
The old course, Alex, is what people tend to refer to in historic terms and whatever, but this one is probably a better, well, it's definitely a better circuit.
Oh,
the old one is
yeah.
You want to crash into the side of somebody's house, but this
one
one is...
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is a fan. I mean, one of the best circuits now in the world, you know, they absolutely nailed it. It's still long as circuits go, you know.
7 kilometres, yeah.
But, yeah, it's just such great speed, you know, really, you know, in F1 cars and everything, really puts the cars through the paces, because they have to get the combination of sort of downforce and mechanical grip absolutely spot on.
And it's got about every combination of corners. Oh, off! Thompson! Jesus, how did he save that? Absolutely no idea how he saved that one, Josh Thompson. That is a wiggle and a half.
Lost the place as a result.
Oh my word! Look at his hands were going absolutely mental in the cockpit. What a save that is. Unbelievable, Alex. I don't know if you can see that.
Just about to watch this on replay now.
Please take us through that, Alex, and tell us how difficult that is.
Oh, he caught the inside curb, didn't he? Yeah. Yeah, really. I mean, yeah. That's a great job there. I mean, the car really, really was going.
I thought he was gone. Oh, spinner at the top of Eau Rouge. Car off, it's Rayfield. Looks like he's had a contact with the barrier.
We'll keep on this replay then, and we should be able to see it.
Oh, he has had a contact with the barrier, yeah, indeed.
He took too much of the curb.
Duff, that's a big impact. Hopefully he can get that back to the pits and receive a new car. Josh Rayfield, I think he might have had to tow.
He might have already got it.
In history.
He might already have got a new car, so he might be done for the day.
Could be right. Garnett and Foggy have now come away from the two behind, and that's possibly down to, I don't know if it's down to Thompson's little incident, whether Williamson maybe got a bit scared by that, I don't know.
I think it will be. I think it's just you know, Fraser having to get out of it as well, seeing what's going on. And
going back to
it's only 0.8 of a second, so you know.
Going back to Baker and Rose, Alex, especially Baker. So just looking at the lap times between lap 4 and lap 8. He did lap times within 1/10 of a second of each other. And a track like this is just, that's phenomenal consistency.
Thompson pushing hard in the background there as well. But yeah, you're right. It's just that's just Baker all over, isn't it? So it's right there. He's dropping his teammate now a little bit, but Baker, yeah, he is getting closer to the leaders once more.
I tell you, who's going really well is Paul Smith. He started 26th and up to 15th.
I said earlier that he was punching the BMW above its weight. Him and Andy Shield have been working their way through the field together. They were about Andy 25th earlier on.
Because no, he's well, it has been a bit, hasn't he? But Shield started 14th, so he must have had an issue earlier on. Going really well. In fact, when we're talking most positions gained, Adam, which is a stat we normally do use a lot here, I think we've got an equal tie, three-way tie. We've got Michael Davies, Jake Blackhall, and Michael Hall.
Yeah, 19 gain for Davis, 19 for Blackhall. Says on my screen 18. Oh no, Michael Davis just trumped it because he's now gained 20 places because he's just overtaken John Roberts going down the front straight. And interestingly enough,
Roberts is coming back.
I think Davis, did he just hit the Ferrari in front of him?
I don't know. Roberts is back through though.
I heard the noise.
And he's being harassed now by the Mercedes. Oh my word!
It's amazing how the drivers that have gained the most positions are all in BMWs. Two of them are.
Yeah. BMW punching well above its weight, and now Pete Harrod in the Mercedes is having a look at. That's not Harrod, is it? Oh dear me! It's not Pete Harrod at all, is it? That's it's Blackhall, isn't it? Sorry, CQR Club Car 97.
Someone spun at the tyres.
Around that area.
Yeah, everyone seems to be fine.
Anything. Is there a battle we should focus on, Alex, do you think? Is there anything that's caught your eye out there?
No, I think some of the battles that we've been watching, and we did sort of peek in and look at how Mogren was doing. He's coming back through. He's tucked up behind Michael Hall at the moment. But that's just sort of been simmering for a little while.
Whitehead and Woodburn are having a good battle. BMW versus Ferrari. Whitehead 4 positions gained, Lee Woodburn 5 positions lost. Now battling amongst themselves in 27th and 28th.
Pink and white Ferrari. Whitehead just up the road. Did pretty well at Barber for a while anyway.
Tough track to get right is Barber. I mean, it's a good one for me. I like it, but I know it's not the easiest one. You do need quite a lot of practice to get it spot on.
It is very, very close at the front again. Probably because they've just had to lap some of the traffic. That was Ben Gregory in the BMW that they just had to lap, and means that Garnett and Williamson are pretty close to each other again. Garnett was 4/10 of a second quicker on that last lap, and now the Merc has got a much better run on the exit of Eau Rouge and through Radion. Could have another opportunity here.
Yeah, this looks good for Garnett. He's right with Foggy here, going to the outside line. Oh, he's going round him, and there's a bit of net code. Oh no, and he's taken the Audi of Williamson. Oh, bad luck for Williamson there, and bad luck for all involved, because they didn't actually touch, Alex. A little bit of the dreaded net code coming into play. It was only a little bit, but that's all it needs when you're side by side at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, indeed it is. Unfortunately, we were on board, so we didn't really see too much of it. So here's the replay for the spectators. See the outboard shot. And exactly how Fraser got caught up in it as well.
Well, all this means that Josh Thompson's now up into second place, and now Nico Foggy is a healthy 1.2 second advantage. Dave Baker's now up to third after being fifth at the start of the lap, and Christian Rose and the Ferrari's now fourth. Williamson and Garnett are now in fifth and sixth. But now Williamson might have crashed again, you know.
Yes, gone. Maybe He hit him in an awkward place, so I'm not surprised if he had some suspension damage there.
He tried to turn Poo on.
Yeah.
And he just went completely. And he hasn't elected to come back to the pits and get a new car, so
he's exited the session. He's done.
Yeah, done and dusted. Well, there's still a long time to go. He could have come in for a new car, been on his way again, but that's one thing we always urge everybody to do. Even in the heat of the moment, try and come in and get a new car, because it just give you a chance to score more points. I know it sounds obvious, but how many people, Alex, have we used to see quitting out of races? Garnett's in the pits.
Might not be a bad idea. We have got an hour to go.
He got a bit of damage as well, didn't he? So maybe just trying to get that repaired, like you say.
I think he can make it to the end.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it could be a roll of the dice that we'll have to keep an eye on later on. This does mean that Paul Smith will now be up into 13th place.
There you go, be happy with that.
And 13 positions gained as well for Paul. And you'll see that LJ Garnett does get through the LaSource hairpin in the pit lane without hitting that massive blockade of concrete bollard.
Such a long pit lane here, isn't it? It's crazy.
I've got S-bar issues galore here.
Oh, I did earlier on. I had
to fix it. I've had to get it down to 15 visible cars to get it to do things properly. It's crazy. I used to be able to run 60 cars on this machine, no problem. That was only a couple of years ago. So there we have it. Foggy from Thompson. Seems to have sorted itself out now. Baker's P3. Rose is P4, then it's Brandon.
This is quite a good battle. Sorry, Andrew. Freitas and Keeper. Yeah.
Oh my word, look at it.
So you've got BMW, you've got Audi, you've got Merc, and you've got Marco Mogren's. Marco Mogren's in there as well, I think.
I mean, technically speaking, this battle starts probably with Tom Jacobs, is it? No, it's not Tom Jacobs. It's Burke, isn't it? So it's Ferrari, BMW, Audi, Mercedes, and then it's another Mercedes and another Mercedes.
Davis runs a bit wide on the exit of Poo on there. That shouldn't do too much. The Team Mad Audi does have a little look at the inside going into the Fania chicane.
Just a quick word as well. Only be fair for us to give a quick word to Pete Harrod, car 21, in the what I think is the only McLaren out there tonight. Dan Lenson, who's normally in one as well. Harrod gained 5 places. Former Cup Series Touring Car Champion.
Oh,
now here we go.
Yeah.
Oh.
We've seen 4 panels before into this corner, haven't we?
This is where the BMW suffers a tiny bit, isn't it? Seems to be holding his own though. Is Davies?
Oh,
is he going through? Oh no, he's not. Pulled out of it, but that really checked everybody else up, didn't it?
Andy Shields into the pit lane, so
especially Freitas. Shield pits then, from what was 19th.
Nicole Foggy's has managed to find the party mode. That's a phrase after this weekend. He's set a new fastest lap for the race, a 2:17 dead.
Jake Blackhall's in as well. I don't know if he's going to be partying, Alex. It might be a little bit early in the morning for him.
Yeah, perhaps.
What will it be for him?
At 10, 11 hours.
7 a.m.
Yeah, they're about 10, 11 hours, aren't they? I think difference to us. So
welcome to Tuesday morning, Jake.
Cornflakes at the ready.
Dedication, though, that isn't it really? Freitas trying to go through on the BMW. Davies. Davies keeps it. Doing a good job. Michael Davies has been impressive in the races he's done this season.
Good battle still. Oh, the battle still between Marco Mogren and Kiba, and Freitas and Davis still continues going through Arnage. That's Le Mans, isn't it? It's Rivage. It's been at the bottom of the hill.
Adam's already looking ahead to June.
How did you go?
A lot of people we know look forward to the month of May for Indianapolis. You know, it's crazy how quickly that's come round again, by the way. We're only a few weeks away from the testing, isn't it? So That's crazy. It's in 2 seconds since we were on about Alonso and his escapades in that race. Wonder if he'll be going again.
Don't know if we knew by this point.
Has the field been set for that? I think there's some announcements going on though, isn't there, at the minute? So
we've got Danica back, haven't we, for that one race?
I think it's somehow, I feel like after, I don't know what you think, Alex, because Alonso obviously after the weekend he had, having a good weekend, very good weekend, a top 5 finish.
Yep.
He'll be less likely to have his head turned by IndyCar, I must admit.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he's got his set sight on doing Le Mans, really, hasn't he? That's his thing that he's going to do. So I think the Indy 500 won't have quite the appeal as it did last year.
Just to wind a few people up, I didn't see many people complaining about Alonso gaining places under the VSC on Sunday.
No, I didn't hear anybody complaining about that. It's funny that. Oh dear. It's funny, I used to think motorsport was the place where the fans were kind of, reasonable people usually, but the internet is a funny place. Some of the things we see these days is ridiculous. Good battle between White, Draycott and Wood. In fact, it's still going on. It's been going on for about 10 laps. It is still raging, and White's doing well to handle the pressure. How tough is it, Alex, in a track like Spa, where overtaking is very possible, to keep hold of the position and stave off the pressure?
Yeah, it's not easy. As we're seeing now as well, Davis coming under massive pressure. Mogra and Freitas really trying to have at him there, and he's just been able to hold on.
Well, Freitas has been a big loser there, hasn't he? He's lost one position to Mogren.
Tom Jacobs can't seem to get free of this group either. Just Vector Ferrari just in front.
Oh, great run.
Davis is reserving for TBR, isn't he?
He is.
Mogren even with the wing down it. Oh, he's hit Davis. Oh, no.
I think Davis moved across there. I'd like to know what you guys think about it. That's what I thought happened.
Gonna have a little look. Look back at this.
But then it looked like that Mogren was going for the corner.
Let's have a look. Davis, he drifts over. He does drift over to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be. Could be. We'll leave it with the stewards on that one, I think. Not certain.
I think he felt like he was always in front, Davis, and that's probably why he drifted over. But I think.
I bet you the spotter didn't say inside until.
Yeah, I bet it didn't at all at that point. Yeah, but it should have done.
Yeah.
Inside, and then bang, or outside probably in that situation. But looks like the car is toast for the BMW there. It's up the inside of Burke, goes Marco Mogren, 2 cars in a lap, and he's through.
My S-bar's still going in with 15 cars. I might have to leave and come back in. Give me 5 minutes.
That's what I have to do.
Baker having a couple of little blinks as well, I've seen now. So there's just, let's say, a few people really sort of struggling. And actually, since the front 4 have kind of imploded a little bit, Thompson with his issue, and then the LJ and Williams, Baker's actually dropped off of these guys now. He's now 3 seconds back on them. So just because they're not really battling out there anymore, they're just doing their sort of pace and able to stretch a little bit.
Could be in a bit of a stalemate at the moment, waiting for the pit stops to get underway. Then we could see the strategy being rolled a bit. These are all top teams in their own right, so they'll definitely have strategies to try and get themselves up the order. I'm sure Racehub will definitely be one of those, as well as they can try and close in on Nicole Foggy. But Foggy, Alex, is looking like he's going to be very, very tough to catch now, because he put in a new fastest lap, a 2:17 dead, 0:00, just 1,000th away from getting into the 2:16s.
Yeah, well, that just goes to show how the tyres are not really falling off, and you'd expect everybody to stay on the tyres. Now, I do believe that we've seen Foggy take tyres in one of these endurance races before, when others sort of double stinted them, and he had to come back sort of through. So let's see what he does this time. I think that he'll probably like I say, I'll probably double stint these because tyres should be good for 2 hours in this kind of weather, so an hour and a half really shouldn't be a problem.
Pete Newman into the pits. He was in 9th, started 15th, so a few positions gained from Pete. Good race so far for him, a clean race more importantly, and the Ferrari is now trundling down the Grand Prix pit lane, and it will be getting on the anchors to the right to go through the endurance pit lane.
Yep, so I think we called that relatively well. Knew that they're going to be in sort of at that point, you know, over the hour or just so there's an hour left kind of thing. After that, they can come in, and we saw LJ can't come in at the earliest possible point he could to get himself a new car.
Some drivers are losing the best part of almost a lap in this pit lane.
Yeah, well, it really doesn't surprise me. It takes so long to get down there. And then if drivers do take fuel and put tyres on as well, it takes such a long time. Of course, it's just one man going around the car changing the tyres as well. So that's why the tyres take so long. No, like F1 style with a whole, you know, 15 man crew waiting for you.
Yeah, you're definitely hoping that the Haas team isn't waiting.
I was about to say,
not that to the pit lane.
Not that would have helped Haas. You know, they'd have been better off having one man do all four.
Got a feel for them. Got a feel for the American viewers that lost out on them both retiring because they were on an ad break on Sunday. But Christian Rose currently sits in 4th position. He's got Johnny Brandon not too far away from him here. This is the battle over 4th and 5th. Ferrari versus Mercedes going on. It's a replay of the battle at the Australian Grand Prix on Sunday. I wonder if Blackall, now that he's got up... it's not Blackall. Oh, dear me. Ignore me. I thought Jake Blackall was Johnny Brandon, but he isn't. He's just a lap behind.
Oh.
That shows me.
Yeah, unusual to see Jake down there, but Jake has had a pit stop as well,
yeah.
50-second stop, so I'm guessing that is fuel and tyres that Jake's done there, so suffering a bit out there.
I think Foggy's internet still is. It's the S-bar again, bouncing all over the place down the...
No, it is Foggy, I've got him here, and everybody else is stable at the moment, so...
If you go on, I'll just have a look and see. Let's go have a quick look at Foggy.
I'll tell you what, sorry Adam, I want to cut you off because Marco Mogren is lining up John Roberts here for 15th place up the inside. And who's that behind? Freitas trying to take full advantage.
Very nearly gets involved too. Yeah, the red team Mad Audi. John Roberts continues. He's now down to 17th place. Mogren up to the cracks the top 15. But now he's got Tom Jacobs in front in the Ferrari, plus Pete Howard and Paul Smith. Paul Smith now in 12th place, 14 positions gain. That's a bit exaggerating for Paul because of other cars coming into the pits, but the BMW still doing very well, not too far off the top 10, and he's keeping the car clean for the most part. He sits in 12th place, about 15 seconds away from Chris Wood, who's in 11th.
Yeah, it's quite a gap, isn't it, to Wood, but car's still clean, so long race, anything can happen.
Good battle here between Chaz Draycott and David White. White up the inside and through. Sorry, Draycott the inside and through. The Ferrari into 9th place now. Just as that happened, I think the Audi got past John Roberts. Yeah, Miguel Freitas up into 16th place now. So Mogren and Freitas both had issues in the race. Both had issues in the race so far because they've lost 10 positions and 8 positions respectively. They are on the resurgence now as Mogren lines up Tom Jacobs going into P1. New fastest lap of the race by Nicole Foggy, by the way, 2:16.8. Definitely setting quicker lap times as the fuel comes down, as here comes Mogren. This is where he collided with Davis a few laps ago, and you can see Tom Jacobs, it's like, you can have that position, mate. Thompson. I don't want to deal with that at all.
Thompson pits, by the way, from 2nd place.
Let's see what Josh does in regards to strategy. We're looking at what, 20 seconds if it's just the points, just the fuel.
Incidentally, Adam, Foggy's time of a 2:16.8, just over a second slower. It's 1.2 seconds slower than he was in qualifying. So that's giving you guys the idea of exactly how hard these guys are pushing out there.
David White also in as Pete Howard gets bump drafted around by Marco Mogren. Shame that he was involved in some of the mess earlier on because he was proving to be very quick.
Right, gets the move done. That's nicely played by Mogren. Yeah, he spun off, didn't he? And that was... and unfortunately, that sort of sealed his own fate a little bit in terms of getting into the top 5, but...
Right, he's
still should be able to get into the top 10, you would think, by the end of this race, given the pace of that Mercedes.
Could get Paul Smith by the end of this lap, but Paul is a wily old fox, and sure, he'll
less of the old, he'll be saying.
He's a wily Yorkshire fox. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, they're right. Yeah, and they still frequent back gardens here about as much as they do everywhere else. So yeah, you're probably right with that. Let's see where Josh Thompson comes out. There's such a long stop here, Alex. We've managed to have a whole nother conversation before he's come out of the pits.
Yeah, it's crazy. So still doing it's a long stop, 34 seconds. Let's hope that's not speeding, but we're going to be 40 seconds odd, which is same as what Pete Newman done. So I'm thinking that is his tyres as well.
I didn't check to see what people are
car comes off the jacks there as well, so gotta be.
Because Foggy
David
doesn't look like he's got any tyre issues at the moment. He's continuing to lap pretty much near his fastest lap time, so he doesn't seem to be having any issues with the tyres as Marco Mogren has arrived on the back of Paul Smith.
Thompson's come out behind Chris White. Can't be right, can it? Was he a minute and 20 in the pits, Alex?
Yeah, it would have been 49 seconds. I mean, that is longer than we've seen, but
nearly a 2-minute pit lane time, isn't it?
LJ did 20 seconds, and I think that's just...
What?
Off goes Paul Smith. Marco Mogren collided with him.
Oh dear. Yeah, I couldn't see any of it, I'm afraid.
Second crash in
is it the same place?
Nearly. Davilo, curve Paul Frere, Paul will be telling me. Yeah.
It's not curve Paul Smith, is it? Because it seems like it just seems to not go well for him there.
Quarter panel there into the right-hander, and yeah, off goes the BMW, and I think he's going to be too happy with that. Hang on.
It's not like he's got any damage.
I think he missed the wall. But,
not any severe damage anyway, maybe a slight crumpling of the back end of the car. That might be it. He's behind. Who's he behind? He's behind Stakovic, so he's 17th. So it's not actually gone as badly as what you might think.
Stewards may be getting a look at Marco Mogren now. He's coming to the pits. I think it might be better for him to get into the pits.
2 incidents that he's been involved in.
Both BMW.
But one of them wasn't necessarily his fault.
No. Yeah, that must be
I didn't say this one. No. Oh, McFadden makes a mistake going into Pouon. Car went really... It looked like it tried to just snap on him on the way in.
Michael Hall's gained 28 positions. I know he's yet to come into the pits, but he's doing well.
Yeah, Michael Hall having a great drive to 15th place in the Racehub Ferrari. It's Racehub and Simmortal, the proud sponsors of the World GT Championship. Racehub is a sim centre, and Simmortal is run by Michael Blake. He makes sim racing models, so if you have a particular favourite car in the sim, chances are that Michael Blake will be able to recreate that for you. Racehub Brands Hatch, isn't it, Alex?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So, if you're all the way down in Brands Hatch, then give those guys a call.
And if you're planning to come to Donington, please do, because I'll hope to be there. But
for the British Touring Car Championship, yeah.
I know it's their media day tomorrow, I think, as well. That's
weird
free.
Having it on a Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's free to go to. So if you do have a day off,
I do have a day off. I don't have any money to get there. So free entry is great, but if you
better start walking, I think, would it?
I could. Might just get there. Might have to break into a jog. I don't know. At some point.
Tom Jacobs into the pits. He was in 14th place. The Thrust Vector Ferrari into the pits. Pit lane speed limit here is 60 kph. Well, What's that? 40 miles an hour?
Yeah, about that. 37, is it? I think it's 40-ish, isn't it? Just interestingly, Adam, when is Donington Park?
The end of April.
I know quite a few of the BSR TC drivers and quite a few iRacers are going to be there. So
yeah, it's the end of April, the Sunday the 29th.
So, well, we'll try and be there as well. A nice touch on the back of Tom Jacobs' car, actually. He's got Keep Fighting Michael on there. Of course, we can't come to Spa without talking about the great Michael Schumacher. Alex made his first F1 start here and was so good round here over the years. And yeah, we all wish him well as well. I know we say this every so often, but it's nice to keep thinking about it.
Yeah, he did. I mean, had some fantastic races here. Just gutted, really. We're not really hearing any news either, are we now? So it's kind of all, got to. No, it's just sad, really.
Yeah. But, we do still think about Michael and how much he influenced the sport.
Won his first race here. Won here from 17th on the grid in '95. Should have won here in '98 if it wasn't for David Coulthard.
Had a great battle in 2000 with Mika Häkkinen.
Won his 7th world title at this track in 2004.
Yeah, so lots of great memories of Schumacher.
His 300th race, I think, here in 2012.
Yeah, indeed. He got some points, I think, on that day as well. Let's have a look then. Christian Rose is on his way in 3rd place at the moment. It's been a good race for him. Been a good race for Racehub, indeed.
Speaking of Racehub, Dave Baker might just be starting to up the pace a little bit. Fastest lap of the race on that last tour of the circuit, 2:16.848. 4 seconds behind Nicole Foggy with 39 minutes to go.
It's obvious, Alex, that Racehub have looked after their tyres nicely because they haven't been. They've just been gradually upping the pace. It's just got slightly better and slightly better. And Baker had gone up into the mid 2:17s for a few laps, but then he dropped down into the low. Now the last 2 laps have been under the 2:17 mark, so really shows that they're keeping the car in good condition.
This just might be what brings the Ferrari back to them at the end, if it can carry on just conserving tyres and pulling new fastest laps. So Foggy only a couple of tenths slower.
This is the important time of the race for them, really, isn't it? Though when
big
have
time
to push now, coming into the pits, and Baker especially has made good use of this late stint time because he's now 4.5 seconds ahead of Rose, where for most of the first stint it was about 1 to 2 seconds. So Baker's putting the hammer down.
See if Foggy's going to come into the pits at the end of this lap here. He's just coming through Longchamp now. Paul Smith's come into the pits, so is Maciej Sakovic. So those two coming in for either fuel and a bit of tyres. Foggy just coming into the bus stop now, and he is staying out for another lap.
Baker carrying on as well. Yes. We're not quite at the hour mark, so if they do what Alex was suggesting earlier on and bring the car to the full capacity, and then we are still well within the window. Maybe 10 minutes even, Alex. Would that be fair? Maybe.
Yeah,
up to about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'd be looking at them pitting in with about half hour to go if they sort of brimmed it. And they were going to take it to tank. And I think they might even hear Spa's actually not too bad on the fuel, if I remember rightly. You can usually get like an hour and 2 minutes out of it or something like that. So
Smith comes out behind Baker. In fact, in direct competition with Andy Scheel, but I think he's. In fact, I think that will be for position when all's said and done.
Drake got into the pits. Who was he battling with earlier on?
He was 8th. He was in the group with Dave White and Chris Wood.
Yeah, their pit lane time was 1:50. They are in 23rd and 24th place.
David White's a long way behind Chris Wood now, though. Chris Wood's in Rare, and David White is in Pouhon. So he's obviously had a bit of a slow time, David White, in the pits.
Intrigued to see what Chaz is going to do. He hasn't reached his pit box yet, by the way, even though he's been in the pit lane for the best part of a minute.
Well, yeah, and it's important laps as well for the likes of Josh Thompson, because obviously he's got traffic to contend with now. He does dispatch Ronald Moons quite easily there on the exit of the bus stop.
Treycar is changing tyres, so we are expecting a 1 minute 50 pit lane time, or around about that mark. Less fuel to put in the car though, of course, because he pitted a bit later than some of those cars. 23 lap stint for Treycar.
Don't forget that this is the World GT Championship with Racehub and Simmortal here on Apex Racing TV. On the iRacing service, Andrew Woodhouse here with Adam Bath and Alex Simpson, bringing you coverage of round 13 of the season from the circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. We're almost coming up on the hour mark here. 2/3 race distance. Normally we have 3 rounds of the World GT Championship every week, but tonight it's something a bit different. Just an hour and a half race, one single race. And it's kind of more akin to the traditional spirit of GT racing, Alex, these longer races, but the sprint races, it just offers something a bit different, doesn't it, in both ways?
Yeah, and I think that's why they do it. So, you know, there's dime a dozen GT3 leagues out there that run hour and a half races. So, and yeah, these guys obviously with the sprint race format, you know, it works well. It's something a bit different. You know, don't often see the GT cars driven like that. So,
you just give other drivers who might normally excel in the sprint races and vice versa have the chance to impress.
Yeah, absolutely. And then of course we do get the one or two endurance races as well. So it just you know, those that do like those can sort of do well in those too.
Because obviously you're a Blancpain World Championship driver. Sorry, Adam, 2 seconds. And yet, you know, it does take a lot of concentration to be driving these cars for an hour and a half on the limit.
It does, yeah, it does absolutely. And Spa, it's quite a tough track with like off tracks and things like that. So you know, you're trying to avoid those around here and push as hard as you can. It's not easy.
Yep.
Great battle between Stuart McFadden and Dion Phillips. They've just exchanged positions twice, going through the Les Combes chicane at the top of the hill, and Malmedy and Rivage, and now they've got 2 cars for company. That's the Merc of James King, and that is Miguel. It's not Miguel Freitas, is it? That's is that a car that's a lap down the Merc that's there? It's Maciek Stakovic. Yes, it is. So he's joined the party. It's a sad onlooker, really, because he is a lap or so down now. How long are the Blancpain Sprint Series races in the official series? Are they 45 minutes? Or are they 20 minutes as well?
No, I think you're right. I think they're at 45. It's not quite and
half an hour.
Or is it an hour? It might be. I don't know. They force you into the pits as well. That's all I know with them. We got restricted fuel tank as well. So
yeah, you do have to do a stop. Yeah, I did some races here last season, and it does. Yeah, you do have to stop at least once.
Getting close to that window where everybody's going to be jumping in, I feel. A couple of minutes to go. And actually McFadden in, so one of the drivers in.
Yeah, Stuart McFadden, he was the leader of that train into the pits. LJ Garnett is now up to 14th place, Josh Thompson in 16th. Those are the 2 cars that had very early pit stops. Of course, Garnett had that crash while going for the lead at the top of the hill. So we'll see where he is once this is all said and done, see if he's gained any time and whether he's done a massive undercut on everybody. Yeah, a very quick stop as well, so he may have to we'll not be informed that he won't have to pit again, as McFadden may have just clipped the inside wall there the outside wall going through the pit lane.
Fraser just confirming 40 minutes reduced tank, so here we go.
Thank you. Don't know why it says for me that the BMW doesn't have a restricted fuel, but maybe it doesn't because it's just so old, I don't know. But yeah, restricted tank, we've now been reliably informed. Matt Keever also in, he was in 11th place. Also in is Nathaniel Simpson, who had a spin at Pouon earlier on, but didn't hit anything. Managed to carry on, and now he's coming into the pits. Andrew Whitehead has stayed out. He's now on to his 25th lap, along with everybody else that hasn't pitted. And he's doing pretty well. He's up in 11th place now, 20 positions gained, but does have LJ Garnett for company.
Yeah, I mean, LJ's done a good job since he's had his pit stop. Remember, he hasn't got a pit anymore, so... and he's been lapping really good times, so It's going to be interesting to see how it all fares out once he's had his stop, but gets the run on Whitehead, and I think that's going to be the place. Yes, indeed.
On the brakes and through goes the Merc. Into 13th place he goes as his resurgence through the field continues with making that pit stop earlier on. Foggy stays out again, Baker 2. We are gradually getting there, not too far away from these pit stops. Christian Rose is now coming under pressure from the car behind, which is Marco Mogren, who is a lap or so behind. Shows you how much a pit stop around this circuit costs you. Mogren, who was inside the top 20 when he made his pit stop, getting lapped by the leaders as he continues to drive around. Mogren now on his 5th lap since he pitted.
Yeah, and he will be a bit slower as well, because obviously looking at well, let me check that. Well, Mogren 50 seconds as well, so not really sure there.
The only drivers that I've seen that have not changed tyres are LJ Garnett, who was in the pits for 20 seconds. Chris Wood as well, 21 seconds. Everyone else has been in there for a good 48, 50 seconds. So it seems to be tyres and fuel are the way to go. Or maybe you just love driving around on very worn tyres.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, it worked so well for me in the World Championship, didn't it?
There we go. They're all missing a trick. You should get a team in this. Wipe the floor with them. Did well on the BSRTC on Thursday, 2nd place there. Of course, the reverse grid always helps.
Well, yeah, and playing the slipstream game. Thank you, David.
Appreciated that. He's currently sitting in 2nd place now, where you were sat on Thursday. Phillip Island on Thursday as well for the BSRTC. There's action also later on tonight, 1:15, with the Ritmatech Sports Car Series at Sonoma in California. Almost a mini Spa in America's answer to Spa, almost. Very undulating track there, but Andrew Whitehead into the pits. Was in 11th. I fear he may lose a few positions here, especially if he takes fuel and tyres.
I do love Sebring, and of course next week I believe the Le Mans series is there as well. So the new LMP ones get a little run out there. Could be interesting.
You had a go in them?
I've been running an academy class for the last couple of weeks, so yep.
Yeah,
enjoying them actually. So both the Porsche and the Audi are in there, and having a lot of fun with those, trying to get to grips with how to set them up. And I have to say we're finding a bit of time, looking quite competitive at the minute.
Just don't do any of it on the Thursday.
Not King. I think Dion Phillips in.
Yeah, also in is Foggy and Brandon. So this is the moment now for the leaders to pit. Baker and Rose carrying on as well. So maybe they were saving the tyres and they were saving the fuel too, when they were just slightly off the pace earlier on, as Woody was alighting to earlier in the race.
Because it's just a splash of fuel, isn't it? Well, not a splash of fuel, but it's less fuel that you have to put in if you only need to, if you can eke a couple more laps out, and it's going to help. It's not particularly quick to put the fuel in these cars.
I'll count now before the car gets jacked up. 2 seconds, 3 seconds into the stop, doesn't help. The Foggy's blinking a bit. Gets on camera angle. He's not been on the jacks yet. Doesn't help that he's blinking a bit, so it's not registering and getting jacked up.
I'd think he'd be going about now if he was going to be. There
just
he
fuel
is.
only. There you go. 21.5 seconds stop for Nicole Foggy. Where's LJ Garnett in all this? He's miles on. He's just coming across the front straight now, so he's not going to have to worry about him, Nicole Foggy. He's rejoined the circuit just behind just ahead of John Roberts, and the nearest car that has pitted is indeed, I think it might still be Johnny Brandon. Brandon just coming out of the pits now. Where's Garnett? Garnett's going by him, so he's through.
Foggy was doing his lowrider impression down the back straight, I think. Just it just looked like he was having some fun, but yep, that's that connection. So who haven't we had in then? So Baker, Rose, King, Freitas, Harrod, top 5. Roberts hasn't pitted. Woodhouse
that should
hasn't, although I think he might be in now.
Yeah,
and
he
then
is.
Ronald Moons as well,
who's also in on this lap.
Oh,
so
there you go.
it's pretty much 6 of the top 7 are in. Baker's in now, as Foggy doesn't have the best outlap. That might have just been his internet there, I don't know. But
and Rose.
Or the server. But yeah, Rose and Baker.
That's going to be a second or so that they're going to save. Baker needs to absolutely nail the stop.
Is Baker in the GP pits? No, he's just using all the space there. I was thinking that.
Yeah.
Now you don't want to hit anything here. Doesn't. I have seen a few cars get rolled over in a VLN race, which we were broadcasting on the other side. Oh, I heard someone hitting something. Was that? No, it wasn't King. I just heard a bit of contact there. Don't know what that was, but Dave Baker into his pit box, and we will see if he can close the gap. It was about 4 seconds when Nico Foggy came in a lap ago. So
where is Foggy? Just coming into the bus stop as well. You keep an eye on Baker then. Let me know if you think he's been jacked up.
Okay. So it was about 20 seconds for Foggy before he left. I don't see any advantage in Baker getting the tyres changed if he wants to stay with Foggy. It just doesn't look like you're getting that much time, but we'll wait and see. Whereabouts is Foggy now, Alex?
Just coming out of turn 1, so...
Baker's away, 21.7 seconds. 0.2 of a second slower than Foggy.
Well, it's definitely, there they are, so definitely... I'm not sure it's going to be actually any quicker because of the way you come out of there, but definitely looks closer. So 3.4 seconds, 3.5, 3.7. Of course, you lose quite a bit of time on the straight, don't you? Because you just haven't got the momentum. Baker gets tucked in behind the back marker. So it's going to be 4.4 seconds, quite comfortably clear of LJ as well, and King.
That's Thompson in all this.
So Thompson did take tyres, didn't he? So he is coming up Rouge right now, so he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, he's the best part of half a minute behind.
Quickest car out there. I mean, he's lapping quicker. He's lapping 1 second lap quicker than his teammate, who he is 10 seconds behind. But there's not. I don't even think there's 10 laps left of this race, is there? Looking at the lap times they're doing, so maybe just. So he might get to LJ, but that's as far as he's getting.
Well, the halfway mark in this race was about 23 laps, so we will see possibly potentially a Grand Prix distance. The drivers are on lap 29 of the race. We've got just over 20 minutes to go, so maybe 35, 36 laps. 37. Yeah, we'll wait and see. Unfortunately, I haven't paid for JRT, so they usually tell me how many laps I've got left. But yeah, other live timing software is available, which I will direct you to Apex Racing's website or the Academy. I think, Alex, get some goodies on there.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can get the live timing software that Pascal's created for SDK Gaming, and get that as an Academy member as well as your LMP setups if you want, or you can just head to the SDK Gaming site and get the live timing software from there.
Get a head start through the SDK and some advanced tutoring by Mr. Simpson.
Don't stir it anymore.
Is it still going on? I did like your tweet a few days ago.
Start. What you like?
Haters gonna hate.
Well, this is true.
At 29, and Nico Foggy has a 5-second advantage over Dave Baker. LJ Garnett is now in 3rd. Johnny Brandon in 4th. James King is in 5th. Performance of the race so far potentially from him, along with Jake Blackhall, started in 18th up to 6th. 12 positions gained for the Audi, and he's now all over the back of Dion Phillips here, Alex, on the exit of La Source.
Yeah, let's see if we can find that battle. There he is. It's funny you say that, actually. I just put up for sale my my CSR Elite pedals, which have a dual clutch mod on them. So you have an override button and a bite point stopper on them. So, you know, nothing new. I dug them out of like a storage locker. They've been in there for about a year. So
there you go. It's iRacing's version of Spygate, you'd think. So it's all getting shaken up in the sim racing world at the moment, with drivers leaving left, right, and centre as King looks to the outside of Phillips going through Rivage.
Well, I think this is just the early signs of, you know, esport teams really starting to form, like proper esport teams. You know, drivers starting to be paid and things like that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're anywhere near the professional level yet. I think it's still more like those who had like a part-time job. You know, some teams could say, well, you know, we'll cover the same sort of what you're getting and just focus your attention on that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's getting there. I think that's the point. In the last two years, it's really moved on a long way compared to where it was.
So these drivers in the World Championship, they're probably going to be getting in practice every day.
I would say so, unless you're me. I haven't touched the car yet. So hopefully the first bit of practice is tonight.
I don't know if that's disheartened any of the drivers that you're beating. God, can't beat Alex Simpson, and he doesn't do any practice. And I've been practicing all week. They'll probably think.
Well, most people beat me last time, so it's okay. That's obviously why.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure I used to give Woody some stick on there. Yeah, the more practice, you know, it helps.
Practice makes perfect.
And I need to. I need to follow my own advice apparently. So, but yeah, I wish I had the time.
Hey, you still got a second place in the old Kia though, didn't you?
I still need some 28-hour days.
That's what we need. We'll try and make them. If we can make you have better starts, then I'm sure we can make you have 28-hour days. We'll try and figure it out.
Yeah.
Slow down time.
It has definitely transpired though. What I was watching while I was away. That the likes of Josh Thompson and Chris Wood, not Chris Wood, sorry, Christian Rose. They've lost so much time, haven't they, in the pits?
Oh yeah, because it was Rose that took the tyres, Baker didn't, and unless they're going to have a sudden surge with 20 minutes to go as King makes the right pig's ear of Lecom, and is now under pressure from the Audi of the Mercedes of Thompson.
He's gone around the outside,
and he's through. I think it was a big mistake from as I get a replay of that for you because I just cut away for Rose to come in because he was in a good strong position. He'd eked it out. They were the last of the guys to pit, you know, just put the bit of fuel in and go. I'm really surprised.
Could it be that he wasn't confident with the tyres on?
I can only imagine that's the case, you know.
Who's gained mostly from the round of pit stops then? Dion Phillips has, hasn't he?
So's King as well. King's gained 11 positions.
He's about 8th, wasn't he, before the stops, or 9th? Rose has obviously dropped down. Pete Harrod up to 13th. It's pretty good.
King and Wood both only took fuel.
Freitas has done well as well, considering he had his spin earlier on his way down. He's up to 12th now as well.
Yeah, so, and still...
Of course, he's right in the middle of a pack.
Oh, crash at the... Oh, well.
Is it Whitehead?
It's going to be a crash. It's Whitehead, Smith and Zakovic. How they didn't crash, I've no idea. Because they should have crashed.
Well, they were 3 wide at one point going through Lecom.
Okay. Did you see that, Alex? That's crazy. It's like how they didn't end up taking each other out completely. I've absolutely no idea because they all hit each other, I think.
Just watching it on replay. 2
BMWs crashing. The BMWs have been right in the thick of the action today. And Maciek Zakovic says, thank you very much, guys. I'll crack the top 20. I'm up to 19th now.
I'll have that, yeah.
2 for the price of 1.
Whereabouts was this, Andrew? Sorry, I might have gone a bit back a bit far. Yeah, I've definitely gone back a bit too far. Let's see this.
Yeah, Lecum is on this.
It's like it's like the days of the VHS where you go a bit too far back after rewinding it.
Yeah.
I was around for that. Yeah.
Just about, at least.
Yeah, only just.
Oh.
Yeah, just watching it now. You're right. How they all got away with that, I don't know. But yeah, Zakovic will be loving it. You know, through both of them.
I just flicked over to them and they were all hitting each other. It's like, oh, here we go, and nothing happened.
Thompson on Dion Phillips then round the outside. You can see Dion just appears back into shot.
Oh, he's determined to stay ahead. Sorry, Alex.
I mean, I think he's fighting a losing battle here, frankly.
With Thompson, definitely, I think.
Yeah, Thompson's on fresh tyres as well, and Dion's not. So.
Oh, come on, cut back, hooray! Sorry, Thompson. He's up the inside.
You're not sorry at all.
Oh no!
What on earth happened?
Well, I think you might have to say sorry to him after that.
Just not. Oh, I need to see that again. So,
right, he got the
Thompson.
club back on him. Thompson was off the circuit and comes back on.
yeah, but did Dion really give him enough room? This is what I'm having a look. You know, when you're doing this sort of thing, you got to give room.
It looked like Dion kind of straightened his car up a little bit, almost to make less room. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I think
You'd go over to the left there, wouldn't you, if you knew that somebody was kind of.
I think you can
Unless you
call
thought
that. I think you got to call that a racing incident. They're racing each other really hard there, and you can see Dion was coming back towards the middle of the circuit to give a bit more room, but perhaps just didn't anticipate. Obviously, Josh with his fresh tyres, how quickly he could get back onto the circuit.
I think he
and
thought
there was
he
the
got rid of it when he'd
merest
gone
of
off.
contacts there, but the car just reacted nasty.
I think he thought that Thompson had gone wide, because usually when you go wide at pool on that wide, you end up you don't get back from that.
Yeah.
Poor Dion has come into has probably been shown a meatball flag and has had to come in. Josh Thompson's carried on 2. He's down to 6th, and in fact,
Well, he avoided the wall, didn't he? So
Yeah.
Josh should be okay. Yeah.
Might have some damage, but I don't think it's going to be major. It has allowed James King to get back into 5th place.
Yeah, so only a bit of front end damage for Thompson. That was when the contact was made. They're one of the fastest parts of the circuit. With 15 minutes to go, some drama there as King now is inside the top 5.
Josh Thompson from the Isle of Man.
Off to Belgium, I think, next week in his karting escapades.
Oh, there you go. Well, good luck to him for that. Hopefully that won't happen to him. Let's see who else is going well. Looking at positions gained, Jake Blackhall's up 22. Let's do everybody who's gone up more than 10 places. James King, 13 gained for him. Then you've got Blackhall, 22 gained. Whitehead up 10. Hall 20. So in fact, there's not many big movers actually, because I think a lot of them managed to have to retire from the race earlier on.
I wonder if those big movers have all took fuel only. I think that might be a pattern that's synonymous. Yeah. Blackhall, minute 53 in the pits, so that does indicate.
No, Blackhall took tyres. Yeah, 50 seconds. One of the longer stops as well that we have.
Hall as well took tyres. Yeah, so there you go. That doesn't mean anything.
Whitehead didn't.
Well, there's still 1 minute and 45 seconds to nod behind though. So, yeah, I mean, definitely hasn't helped them that much. I don't think.
Right.
It's not hindered them, but it's not helped. Paul Smith's still on the lead lap, just about 2 minutes and 5 behind. It's actually still gaining a place from where he started, but that probably won't be much consolation for him, given what happened earlier on. Mark Woodhouse has gained 8th place. We haven't spoken about Woodhouse at all in this one. He's had a solid race, not spectacular in the Team Mad Mercedes, but Woodhouse up to 22nd.
So something happened to Marco Mogul?
Probably.
No, I think he might have just been blinking in and out on. Okay, maybe he had S-bar issues, I don't know. But
usually ends up hitting him off. It's usually what happens to him. Johnny Brandon's very quietly had a good race though, Alex. He's up to 4th place, and we see time and time again just how good Johnny is, and he's shown again with 5 positions gained, but also the fact that he wasn't really looking like threatening the top 5 at all, but he's obviously nailed the strategy.
Yeah, he just needs to. What's he got? 12 and a bit minutes to go. Of course, Thompson is coming at him about half a second a lap, so Josh will get there. And King's lapping pretty decent. He's managing to stay with Josh as well, so with the slipstream. So it's going to be, it's going to be an interesting close to the race for Brandon, especially to try and hold on to that top 5.
Thompson's only just got by on this lap. He got him done into Les Combes, so the Radicals Mercedes up into 5th place now. I think James King probably saw what happened with Thompson and Dion the lap before and was like, yeah, you can have that position, I think.
Well, we know James well, and he's a fast driver. He used to be a very good controller driver as well. Because if you're new to iRacing, you can use whatever control method you actually want. You don't have to have a steering wheel if you don't want. Obviously, it helps. In some cases, it helps. I don't know if it actually helps. I think
you can use the key. You can use the mouse, but you can't use the keyboard. Otherwise, I would have been on that from day one, I think.
It definitely is. It definitely is helpful to have a wheel. But you can have any wheel, Alex, can't you? One from maybe a second-hand one, 20 quid one that you've just bought, a PlayStation one, or you can have a £3,000 direct drive system. It just depends on what your preferences is and what your budget is.
You can pick up a good deal, can't you, on like eBay and that? Just get yourself into something sort of pre-owned, just to get a feel, nice and cheap.
Just as an example, I've got a Logitech G29, costs about £150. Nothing ridiculous, but that's a really nice wheel. Good pedals. Everything seems, everything's pretty good.
I wonder how much I would get now for my Driving Force GT. What do you reckon? About 30, 40 quid?
£1.50.
CEX would probably give you £1, 30 pence or something. I don't know, but
don't take it to Computer Exchange. That's for sure. Don't take it there.
You'll
end up walking out with less money than you went in with.
I think they gave for an old Xbox One that I gave them a few days ago. They only gave me about 70 quid for that. And
how have you not got a new wheel yet?
Because I spend money way too quickly, but I am getting paid next month, so it could be on the list.
Oh, not going wide at Eau Rouge's Newman. Oh my word! Well, that almost is the end of Pete Newman's race.
Might even need a new wheel after that. I don't know. I'll tell you what, Josh Thompson made. I'm amazed he didn't rip the wheel out of its out of it, because after really what happened earlier on.
Really comes now on. Threw poo on right behind Johnny Brandon, trying to use that racecraft that he's got to try and work his way around the outside of the Fanyas chicane, and I didn't even think that was possible from that position.
Fresh rubber for you there, so much more grip.
What a move. I know fresh tyres involved, but fantastic move. I mean, I've seen people go around the outside, but he wasn't even side by side by the braking zone, and he still made it all the way around. That was the most impressive thing.
I think King's going to have him here as well.
Did King take tyres as well then, did he?
No, he didn't. So,
no.
But you got to remember the Merc is quite...
Oh, Thompson again! Oh.
Merc is quite heavy, and obviously does pound the tyres.
King, he's lost it. Bang. Oh, he's hit Brandon and nothing's happened to Brandon. Mercedes like a tank, deflecting the impact.
Alex said that Merc was pretty heavy, so yeah, it was like a tank.
Well, we didn't realise it was a World War I tank though, did we?
Mercedes-Benz Defender.
Current order as we're being asked then for the top 10. So you got Foggy, Baker, LJ, Josh, Johnny Brandon, and then it's King, Wood, Rose, McFadden, and Freitas. The top 10 should be on your ticker bar at the top.
It should be.
Those that don't
know. The old overlay.
It is. Yeah, we're still on the old overlay on this series. The new, we haven't got the data file in this for the new one.
Yeah, we'll get that.
Yeah, we will. I think we've got the series that we've got on it is enough for us to do all of our bug tests, because we are finding a few, but that's we were never going to do that unless we actually started to use it.
Yeah, because it's all right. Yeah, because you can't accurately test things like that. But we'll be bringing it to the World GT Championship very, very soon. Very excited to officially reveal it to you guys. Obviously, you've seen it, but we haven't quite seen everything that it can do.
Battle for 14th and 15th place. This is Andy Shield versus Marco Mogren. The Radicals online car. Last time around was 2 tenths of a second quicker. In the slipstream now with the CQR Club car, and is already looking to the outside as Shield tries to put up a defence.
Tries and succeeds. The Shield. Oh, it's quick through there, this Mogren. Through Malmedy gets it. No, it doesn't get a good run through there, so Shield's position is it's safe for now. What's the official time check, please?
6 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay. John Roberts has had a spin up at Les Combes, the Ferrari around.
He was going so well. He's
boosted Scuderia.
He's only lost two places.
Two places. Blackhall and Phillips.
Phillips has got through as well. Yeah, and he's miles ahead of Sakovic, so it's a shame for Roberts. Actually, he gained 9 places, and he gained in the pit stops, it looked like, too. But again, it's just illustrating the point that we had earlier on in the race. Alex said it's just very difficult to have a completely clean run through on this circuit for an hour and a half.
Yeah, sorry, I was just reading the chat just to see on the questions there. I was a bit distracted, so sorry, say that again?
I said it's very difficult to have a completely clean run for an hour and a half at Spa. It's not the place. It's not a place usually where you can do that without at least one mistake.
No, you're right, and especially when you are in battles, because the track is quite wide, so you can actually have some really good battles. And like Lacombe, definitely one of the best places for overtakes, but just the nature there, where it's the right, left, right, always sort of opens it up to being able to try and defend around the outside or something like that. So it's very easy to get net code or something like that as well. Really pushes it for its paces there.
Been watching Stuart McFadden, Adam, and his car has been a handful all the way through the race. It's been oversteering in Pouhon, it's been understeering at Blanchimont. It's had all kinds of issues, but he's still going in 9th place. Hasn't had any spins to my knowledge, so it seems like he's on for a top 10.
And if you look at the cars that have only come into the pits to take tyres and fuel, he sits in 3rd position out of all of those cars. So, pretty good job. James King is harassing the back of Johnny Brandon here at the same time. Don't think he's going to try what Josh Thompson did there through the Fanish chicane, but at the same time, Brandon's made a right mess of the second part of it.
I don't think he made a mess of it. I think King just had a lot more grip. And there he goes in Stavolo. Alex, your favourite corner on the circuit.
Great move.
Nudge, nudge. And through Paul Frere, he's through, but... he's side by side with the Mercedes now. This is going to be squeaky bum time in Blanchimont. Here we go. Oh man, contact. There we go.
Here comes Chris Wood.
And this is for position for Wood as well. He might try and get both of them here. Oh, he's lost it. He's lost the rear on the way in. He's still going to go around the outside. Chris Wood. Has he got the traction? Sort of. King sort of has the traction as well. Mercedes is in there. The Ferrari of Rose. And the Ferrari of Rose, Alex, is a top 5 car.
Yeah, fresh tyres as well.
Fastest man on the track as well. Fastest lap of the race last time around.
It's going to be interesting. Eau Rouge is coming up now. The fastest corners in motor racing. And Chris Wood sensibly decides to just slot in behind the Mercedes of Johnny Brandon. Over the hill at Radillon. The Kemmel straight beckons. And the 5th place beckons for one of these 4 drivers. Will it be King, Brandon, Wood or Rose?
King drifting over to the right. You don't want to do a Lewis Hamilton into that corner.
No, on Kobayashi, wasn't it, that one? Oh! And there's a Hamilton and Rosberg bit. That's what happened with to Jensen Button in
09, yeah.
09. Ended up there. And that's the King in trouble. That's his Brandon. So now it's Rose. Oh, what? Christian Rose must be smiling from ear to ear, Alex. It looked like he got the strategy wrong. And now that's 3 places in the matter of 1 corner.
Yeah, I mean, he get to 5th, but I think he would have had 3rd. I think so. He's sort of recovered, lost 2 places. So while he'd be a little bit disappointed, it's still a reasonable result.
I think he'd be very happy with the top 5.
Yeah, King just got checkmated there by. Shame it wasn't a boosted car. Then we could have said he got checkmated, but yeah, unfortunately the contact there at the top of the hill. But they have carried on. And with it being a 90-minute race, they barely lost any positions as a result. King down to 8th and Brandon in 7th.
I was going to say he abdicated 5th place, but he didn't do it voluntarily. So I don't think that counts. Chris Wood then trying to... It's not the Burnley striker, by the way, for anybody wondering. But putting pressure on Christian Rose. Chris Wood's a former race winner in this series. He knows exactly what to do.
Wood's sort of come on strong towards the end of the race, hasn't he? He was lingering sort of just outside the top 10, and then really out of nowhere, he's pulled off a good race. He's got good pace in that Audi, even though he hasn't taken tyres.
Did not have a good qualifying session. Didn't have a good qualifying at all, Alex, but he has grown into the race, you're right. Remember, after about 10 minutes, he was in about 13th place. But he's just worked his way through. He's got the strategy right, it seems, and putting pressure on Rose.
We are probably on the penultimate lap. Just looking where our leader is. Foggy's just coming into Q1 with a minute to go. Might be close. Might be close to whether this is the final lap or not. We're either going to get... This is either the final lap or we're going to get one more.
Oh, he's gone. Wood's gone. He's spun.
Oh.
Well, there you
we
go.
were just talking about him.
That's how you curse someone.
And it's at the trouble point again. It's at Lecon.
You know what? He turns it in, and I don't know if Alex, if you can see that. Turns it in and gets oversteer, has to correct, and then when he turns right again, it ends up going round, but he didn't hit the wall. Oh, and he very nearly collides with Johnny Brandon when he comes back on.
It does mean that we have a great scrap with James King between the two Aldis with a few seconds to go.
Here comes King.
Foggy is coming into the final corner with 5 seconds to go. This is the final lap.
It's going to be over.
Yeah, this is the final lap.
So through the bus stop chicane then, Nico Foggy started on the front row. He took the lead on lap 1. He's not looked back. Nico Foggy comes through and the reigning champion takes the victory for Northern Lights Racing. And after an hour and a half, he's the king of Spa. Here comes Baker into second place.
Off is Chris Wood. The tyres are gone.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Not surprised.
He literally turned in and there was no grip at all. He just went off.
That's what happens with this tyre model. LJ Garnett coming through.
He's letting his teammate go.
Fuel?
No, he's letting his teammate go.
Ah, teammates. Thompson.
Didn't want to take points off Thompson, did he? So.
Makes sense.
Johnny Brandon coming through the final corner to get a top 6 finish. Here he comes out.
That's a very good race by LJ though, Alex, because we thought he was done and dusted after the crash he had.
Yeah, very good.
But that's why
straight away, didn't he? Got himself the car repaired, and he was able to make it on the fuel that he had. Didn't take tyres, and yeah, did a good job.
But that's why you look at Williamson retiring from the race, and you think, well, he should, if he's got himself a new car.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he could have been up there as well.
Yep.
And so that's a lot of points for the championship gone. For him, I was sit before this meeting actually, just looking at that. He was sitting 15th, but I've got to think the points would have been. Maybe he just had enough. I don't know. Sometimes you do, don't you? You just quit the race because you just can't be bothered. Who knows?
Indeed.
We've all had that.
You have a bad race, and it's not always. They're still going out there.
Yeah, here comes Dion Phillips for 17th place, despite pitting twice.
John Roberts
to get a new car.
With a nice solid finish for Boosted Motorsport in 18th. Sakovic coming across.
Here comes Sakovic for 19th. Michael Hall. Biggest mover? Yes. 22 positions gained to 20th after starting 42nd. Second biggest mover behind Jake Blackhall. Here comes Mark Woodhouse. We were just talking about him, plus his teammate Scott Malcolm. Malcolm a lap behind, finishes 32nd. Woodhouse 21st. Keeper 22nd, and here comes Stuart Atkinson, whose car was wrecked early on. The only thing that's still working are the lights on the front of that Ferrari. The cover 35th.
I think Malcolm will probably take that, given the fact that I think he got disconnected before the race even began. So I don't know. I wonder if he can get us through the finishing order. Now everybody's crossed the line.
Okay, as Nico Foggy comes into the pits, he wins the 90 minutes of Spa. Dave Baker finishes in second. Car 6 started in 6th, finished 6 seconds behind at the finish. Josh Thompson in 3rd, completing the podium. LJ Garnett in 4th, Christian Rose 5th, 6th for Johnny Brandon, James King finishing in 7th, 8th Chris Wood. All 3 of those cars had issues towards the end of the race, but they still managed to get a top 10 finish. Stuart McFadden 9th, 10th for Miguel Freitas car 999. Then Pete Newman 11th, 12th Chaz Jacob, 13th for Marco Mogren, started 5th, but obviously had some issues during the race. Andy Shield started 14th, finished 14th. What do you get if you double 007? You get 14, and that's where he finished. 15th for Pete Harrod, 16th for Jake Blackhall, the biggest mover. Dion Phillips 17th, despite 2 visits to the pits, one of which was to get a new car. John Roberts in 18th, Maciek Sakovic 19th, and 20th for Michael Hall, the second biggest mover. Mark Woodhouse 21st, 22nd, and Matt Keeber. 23rd, Andrew Whitehead. Then the cars 1 lap down or more. Tom Jacobs, Paul Smith, a lap down in the Beamer. Nathaniel Simpson, 2. Ronald Moons in 27th. 28th for Lee Woodburn and Stephen Burke. Ben Gregory in 30th. Chris White in 31st. Scott Malcolm, 32nd. Jason Rowe, car 888, 33rd, 2 laps down. Then David White, 13 laps down. Stuart Atkinson with the damage. He was in the pits for quite some time. Dave Crozier, 15 laps down. Fraser Williamson, the pole sitter, finishing in 37th. And then Jeroen Kaiser and Michael Davis were out very early on indeed. Actually, I say very early on. They managed to get about half the race done before they succumbed to the crashes that they were involved in earlier on.
Yeah, we did also lose Blake, Rayfield, Johnston, Janssen.
Oh, yeah.
Dawson.
Let's scroll down.
And Nick Sherman's didn't take the start, so we had a few drivers who, I forgot to scroll down. But we did lose a few people, including the championship leader. He was out very early on. We saw that there with a few issues. We do have Josh Thompson to come into the channel. Here he is. Josh Thompson joins us now in the commentary box. Josh, that was an eventful race, but in the end, P3, you must be happy.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. I'm a bit annoyed because deep down, I think I could have had a chance over the win with the pace we had, but I had to try something different because I couldn't stand being behind Foggy's connection.
Oh, I can imagine. It looked pretty bad from where we were sat. We were saying that you might not be able to overtake him because, to be honest, there'd be too much risk trying to do that, I think.
But one time I tried to go for it, I netcoded straight through him. So, even at the end of it, I was getting so many 0 and 4X off. I think I'm got 94 incidents that race. Just because.
Oh, really? And you were nowhere near him as well.
I got before the pit stop, I was up to 60. Just because I kept getting either hit from behind, having to stop from Fraser a few times, and a few times in netcode. But no, well done. He still won the race, so you can't take it away from him. So, and Dave as well has a great job.
It's tough though, especially on a track like this where you always need to be concentrating. Sum up how your season's gone so far, because you was lying 9th before this race. 13 races gone out of 26, half distance. What are your thoughts on how you've done so far?
Better. It's weird because obviously it's better than I thought I would have done. But I'm also a bit annoyed because last week I had a DNF at Barber, which wasn't my fault. And a few incidents here, Silverstone was a bad round and stuff like that. So in a way, it's not bad being where we are, where I am in the championship. I know Carl had a massive wheel failure and was had it all weekend, so that was a shame for him. So, and obviously it's just me. McCoy, I don't think we're racing anymore in the season due to his new job. So it was literally just me getting the points and getting 94X. Don't think it's going to go too well.
Yeah, that's not the best. That's like a season's worth of incidents for Alex. I think that's probably 2 years worth of incidents.
But you guys will know, Spa.
Mine's never ever had 96 incidents total in his life. There you go.
Cronke, is it?
Yeah, Cronke, exactly.
Probably hasn't, to be honest. When he gets crashed into by other people. But yeah,
I'd love to see if that's a legit stat as well.
Yeah, I don't think he drives Spa much, then.
You're gonna have to dig that,
or Kota.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to dig that stat out for us, Alex.
I'm amazed by
that. But Josh, thanks for joining us, mate, as usual. Give the shout out to your team. Give the shout out to anybody you want.
All right, so starters, I just want to say well done to everyone who raced tonight. Foggy and Dave did a good job. LJ, great job, first time back in a GT3 in a long time for the team, replacing Chris. Did a brilliant race there. Bit of team play, just let me through because obviously I was high up in the championship. Everyone from Radicals, really. So all the sponsors.
Perfect. Josh, thank you very much, mate, and we'll catch you later. Mate. Catch you next time.
See you later.
Right, and Adam is standing by with Christian Rose.
Christian, hello.
Hello.
Sorry, went all Chris Tarrant there. It's
Welcome to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
He finished in 5th place. Obviously, that's not $1 million, but or £1 million. But it looked like the strategy worked towards the end. Even though you did lose a bit of time in the pit stops taking the tyres, the Ferrari was on song at the end.
Yeah, did some testing beforehand, and I wasn't too sure that the Ferrari would make it on tyres, whether they would just fall off the cliff. So I made the decision to change. Dave went the other way, went to risk it to try and get the win. But yeah, coming up behind that pack towards the end, coming up behind all three of them, and getting through was like my Christmas and birthday at once. It was amazing.
So you reckon it was worth it taking the extra time getting the tyres rather than keeping the track position and staying in front with just the fuel?
Yeah, you know, 6 to 1 half dozen the other. Okay, I lost one position because of it to I think it was LJ, but it was fun to be able to really push to the limits of the car in those last few laps.
And the Ferrari looked pretty quick around there. How was it to handle? How was it set up as well?
Yeah, me and Dave did some really good work on the setup. I think that we've finally figured something out that works for us. Obviously, the Ferrari's fairly quick in a straight line. Once it needs a very long straight for it to stretch its legs, but once it gets going, I think that we can take on anyone.
Well, speaking of long straights, we go to a track which has one next week, the 200 layout at Snetterton, back to the sprint circuit, and you couldn't really go to a track more different than this.
Yeah, Snetterton's one of my home circuits. I've done many laps around there. Really looking forward to going there. Obviously the 200 variant. Hopefully it suits Ferrari, and yeah, we can hopefully push up towards the front again.
Well, I'll let you do the shout-outs then for the Racehub team.
Yeah, obviously huge thanks to Mark Russell and everyone at Racehub for our support. Everyone at CQR, Dave, Mike, and obviously Ashton as well. Of course, we all wish him the very best. Yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah, you may stay for a little bit because I think we've got your teammate in the booth as well, with Dave Baker finishing in second place.
Evening all.
Started sixth. You finished second.
Well, of course.
and I did notice that you finished 6 seconds behind, so you may have backed off a few seconds on that last lap just to get that up there, but
it wasn't intentional. The tyres were gone at the end. Nicole did a fantastic job because the Mercs, I think, even harder on the tyres than the Ferrari, so to not take tyres and stay out in front was a cracking drive from him.
Yeah, we were trying to work out in the middle of the race whether you were just backing off to save fuel so you could go a little extra lap or so towards the end, or was the Ferrari a bit nicer on the fuel?
I think the Ferrari's a little bit nicer on the fuel. I didn't want to get too much involved in the battle up ahead, and it was more about saving my tyres than anything, so trying to be sort of careful into the braking zones, not lock up, because I knew it was going to be that sort of moment at the pit stop of don't I take them, and it was all depending on what Nicole did really. So when I saw he didn't take tyres, I just had to go for it. So
you got a great view of what was kicking off in front, but apart from that, do you have a particular highlight of the race?
I think just sort of being able to survive it. As it wasn't a race where I could push flat out or anything like that. I had to kind of really approach it as an endurance race, which was a nice sort of change of tactic from the races that we usually have. So yeah, I think it was just an all-around good meeting. It looked like everybody had some good racing. Certainly heard on the chat with the team that, you know, the good battles going on throughout the grid. So yeah.
We weren't able to speak after BSRTC on Thursday, but you gave Mr. Simpson here a nice tow in the Kia on Thursday around Silverstone.
Yeah, I heard the interview afterwards with him saying he's picked up all my tricks, so hopefully I've still got some in the bag that we can surprise you with throughout the season. But yeah, that was a great race, Alex. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, a lot of fun. It was obviously it's a big learning curve for me, that car, and I haven't got the time to spend too much in it. So
I say wait till we get side by side racing, then it gets fun.
Yeah, it was nice to just sort of sit there and watch what you were doing and where you were doing it and things like that, and let the slipstream do the business.
You'll be going for your 6th places now.
It's on.
Great. Well, yeah, it was great to hear from you both, and well done on the second, you, Dave, and the top 5 finish, Christian. And yeah, best of luck at Snetterton next week.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Right, well, that pretty much is that for tonight's action from the World GT Championship. Thank you to Alex for the cameras, thanks to Adam, and thanks to all the drivers for providing a great race for us. We'll be back in just the short matter of 3 hours' time for the Rick Mattek Sports Car Series, and that will be interesting as well, as always, on a Tuesday, wee hours of Tuesday morning. We're also back for BSR MX5 Cup Tuesday at 8 p.m. here on the channel. Right, from all of us here at Apex Racing TV, This has been the World GT Championship with Racehub and Simmortal. Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath, and Alex Simpson. It's good night from us.